Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2D Board Gamers. My name is Dave,
And I'm Dirk.
and today we're going to look at the most dangerous woman in the universe.
And you can tell by looking at her. Look at her. Look at her. She's telling you she's dangerous.
Well, she's so dangerous, she's destroying her stat block. Yeah, so this is an alternate art that we got from Gamora Heroes. So let's take a look at Gamora
So
and what she can do.
on her alter ego side, she is an outlaw with recovery of 3, and she is a skilled tactician. So whenever you're building a deck, you can include up to 6 attack and or thwart events in your deck from aspects other than your chosen aspect. So that means they can be any combination of other aspects aside from what you've chosen or in addition to what you've already chosen. And as an action, you can look at the top card of your deck, and if that card's an attack or a thwart event, you get to draw that limit once per round.
Yeah, so she's the second of the unique deck building heroes that we got. So of the 61 heroes we have right now, we have 6 heroes with unique deck building, and Gamora was the second one to come out.
Okay.
All right. Then she's got a hand size 5, 10 hit points. She's a 2/2/2. And she's got finesse. As a response, after you play an attack event, remove 1 threat from a scheme. And her precision is after you play a thwart event, you deal 1 damage to an enemy. And both of these are limit once per phase. But
I love it. It's phase, not round. That's important.
right. Yeah. So if you got some attacks that kick off during the villain phase, that will trigger as well. But the nice thing is, first attack, you do an extra thwart, and a thwart is you get an extra point of damage. So a lot of times it's sort of like going, "Oh, can you knock the tough off?" And it's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll thwart, and then knock the tough off the villain for you to attack." That kind of thing. All right. So let's take a look at her kit.
Okay, so her signature ally, yeah, that's what they're called, is Nebula. Nebula is a 2-cost ally. She thwarts for 2. She attacks for 2. She has 2 hit points. She is a guardian, and then after she enters play, you can search your deck for an attack or thwart event and add that to your hand, and then shuffle.
Okay, just put it off the side. She's got a team up card. Is Daughters of Thanos. Team up Gamora and Nebula. Max 1 per deck. Hero action. You get to draw 3 cards. So this works when you have your Nebula ally, or if you're playing multiplayer and you've got the Nebula hero.
It does not work with the Nebula villain. I'm sorry to tell you that.
Yes.
It would be great if it did, though.
Or there's another Nebula that's going to show up in this deck as well.
Doesn't work with that one either. All right, so we've got 2 copies of Acrobatic Move. It's a 0-cost event. It is an attack event. So you deal 2 damage to an enemy.
All right. This is probably my favorite card of her kit, which that's why it's blurry, because we don't want to be able to read it, apparently. Yeah, there we go. All right. Cross counter. It's a 1-cost event. It's an attack, defense, and a thwart. Hero interrupt, attack, defense, thwart. When you would take any amount of damage, prevent 3 of that damage, deal 1 damage to an enemy, and remove 1 threat from a scheme. And if you're playing this during the villain phase, you would actually get to do another threat and another damage. So this actually would do 2 damage.
Yes, because it's both an attack and a thwart.
Yeah, so both the finesse and precision would trigger.
All right, then we've got 2 copies of Set the Pace. Set the Pace is a 0-cost thwart event. You remove 1 threat from a scheme.
All right. Then we got 2 copies of Divisive Blow. 2-cost event is an attack. Hero action. Attack, deal 4 damage to an enemy, but 7 damage instead if you've played a thwart event already this turn.
All right, then we've got Forward Momentum. So this is a 2-cost thwart event. It is remove 3 threat from a scheme, and similar to the last one, you remove 5 threat instead if you've already played an attack this turn. So if you've got both of them, you have to decide which one you want to do a little bit more of.
All right, then we got Conditioning Room. It's a 1-cost support. Alter ego action, exhaust Conditioning Room. Return the bottommost attack and thwart event from your discard. Attack or thwart event from your discard pile to your hand. And you get to heal 1 damage from Gamora.
Okay. Then you've got Keen Instincts. It's a 1-cost upgrade. You've got 2 copies of this. You can exhaust it to generate a wild resource for either an attack or a thwart event.
And then Gamora's sword is a 3-cost upgrade. It's a weapon. It's restricted. Max 2 restricted cards per player. And when you play an attack event, deal 1 damage to an event.
And I love it. And it's not does not have to be the same enemy.
Yeah.
All right, her obligation here is Unfulfilled Destiny. You give this to Gamora. She can flip to Alter Ego if she chooses. But if you exhaust your Alter Ego, you get to remove it from the game, similar to the old school cards. But if not, you can choose and discard 2 events from your hand to discard this. Or if not, you have to choose and discard 2 events, I guess.
All right. And then her nemesis minion is Nebula. So they're bickering sisters. So sometimes they get to, they're working together, and then sometimes they're against each other. In this case, Nebula, as her signature minion, is 1 scheme, 2 attack, 5 hit points, retaliate 2. When this minion would enter play, discard the Nebula ally from play. So, but the nice thing is if you're playing multiplayer with a Nebula player and the Gamora player, then this minion would not come out. But
that is true.
But
it would gain surge.
But these cards can still be effective, though.
Yes.
Which you'll see, which is kind of funny.
All right, so Sibling Rivalry. It's the Nemesis side scheme. It's got 4 threat on it. Players other than Gamora cannot remove threat from Sibling Rivalry. And after the villain phase begins, you deal 1 face-down encounter card to Gamora. So she's, I guess, taking a page out of Star-Lord's book there.
And that's got a threshold of 4, or starts with 4.
That's what I said.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
All right. Then she's in a bind, attached to Gamora. Treat Gamora's printed text box as if it were blank, except for traits. Choose and discard an attack event from your hand and deal 1 damage to Gamora to discard this card.
Okay, then you've got Waylay, 2 copies of this. It's the Treachery. When revealed, you stun and confuse Gamora. And if she's already stunned or confused, the card gains Surge.
Okay. So it's really fun playing Gamora and the Nebula Hero together. That's actually pretty fun. All right, so we got quite a few cards here because in her deck building, you can have up to 6 off-aspect attack and thwart events. So that's pretty cool. So with that in mind, we'll start with aggression, even though it's a thwart event.
God, you'll pay for that. This is a 1-cost event. Thwart. After the villain attacks you, you remove 1 threat from a scheme for each damage you took that way to a maximum of 5. And so, yeah, this is one that you'll pay during the villain phase, so it does not affect your hero phase.
All right, you got chase them down. After your hero attacks and defeats an enemy, remove 2 threat from a scheme.
And yeah, the low cost ones, like the you'll pay for that for 1 and chase them down for 0. Those are great for her. Then you've got Clobber here. Clobber's a 2-cost event. It's an attack event. Deals 3 damage to an enemy. But if it's the first card you played this round, you can return this card to your hand afterwards.
All right. Then we got Drop Kick. Costs 3. It's an attack hero action. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. And then if you paid for this only using strength, you get to stun the enemy and draw a card.
Did you pull every attack and thwart event out in the game?
Not all of them. Only the ones that she can have.
She can have all of them.
No, she can't.
Just about. Full body charge. So it's a 4-cost event, an attack event. As a hero action, you deal 8 damage to an enemy. If your remaining hit points are less than half your starting hit points, that attack gains overkill.
I don't have any of the aerial ones.
Okay.
Then we got Fusillade here. 2-cost event. She does have a sword, so that's why I put this in here. Exhaust a weapon upgrade you control to deal 5 damage to an enemy. And I don't know. You just threw a card that you couldn't read.
That was the sword.
I know, but you didn't even put it where people could read it. You just kind of put it on camera.
Okay.
Well, I mean, who can read that?
I can. It's get over here. So this is a 0-cost attack event. As a hero action, you can deal 1 damage to a minion. And if you have the aerial trait, you can engage the minion, but you don't really, or that enemy, but you probably don't really care about that. You just want to deal the damage for free.
Yeah, and you can remove a thwart as well.
Yes.
If it's the first one.
All right, into the fray. 3-cost attack event. You deal 6 damage to a minion, and for each point of excess damage, then you remove 1 threat from the main scheme. So this is one that not only do you get the attack, you get the extra damage, or extra thwart, and then you get thwart on top of that if it's your first one.
All right, then we got Looking for Trouble. It's a thwart. Hero action thwart. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until you discard a minion. Put that minion in play, engage with you, and then remove 3 threat from the main scheme.
Okay, and then you can deal that 1 point of damage to the minion to get rid of the tough that they might have. Mean swing here. So this is a 0 cost event. It's a skill hero interrupt. When your hero makes a basic attack, you can exhaust a weapon upgrade on your hero, and your hero gets +3 for this attack. And her sword does not require you to exhaust it. So this is great for that.
Now this card you can only play if you picked aggression as your aspect, because
it's not an attack or
thwart. Yeah, it's not an attack or thwart event. That's something to keep track of. Okay, then we got melee, 3 cost event, hero action attack, deal 3 damage to a minion or to an enemy, then deal 3 damage to another enemy.
And then remove 1 threat from a scheme. No quarter here, so it's a 2 cost attack event. It does require strength to play this, but as a hero action, you deal 4 damage to an enemy, and for each point of excess damage dealt to that enemy by this, you discard the top card of your deck and add each aggression card discarded this way to your hand. So you could play this one in other aspects, but more than likely you're not going to play this one outside of aggression because you won't have that many aggression cards, probably.
Okay, then we have 1 by 1. Hero action attack, deal 2 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats that enemy, deal 2 damage to an enemy.
Right, out of my way. It's a 2 cost attack event. As a hero action, you deal 3 damage to an enemy, 5 instead if that enemy has the guard or patrol keyword.
All right, then we got piercing strike, 2 cost event. Hero action attack, deal 3 damage to an enemy. This attack gains piercing.
Plan of attack. So this is a fun one. It's a 0 cost event, and now this is a tactic. So you would only be able to play this in aggression, but you search the top 4 cards of your deck, the top 7 instead if you're in alter ego form, and you look for an attack event and add that card to your hand, and then shuffle your deck.
Then we got precision strike, 1 cost event. Hero action attack, deal 2 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats that enemy, heal 2 damage from your hero.
Press the advantage is a 1 cost attack event. As a hero action, you deal 2 damage to an enemy, and if the enemy is stunned or confused, you can draw a card. But more importantly, it's a 1 cost attack.
Then we got quick strike, costs 2. Hero action attack, deal damage to an enemy equal to your attack.
And her basic attack is 2. So, Relentless Assault is a 2 cost attack event. You deal 5 damage to a minion, and if you paid for this using a strength resource, the attack gains overkill.
Okay, and this one you'd play only if you're playing aggression, but this is just a nice card to go with her basics. When you make a basic attack, it gets +2 to that attack.
Okay. Smash the Problem is a 1 cost thwart event. So you exhaust your hero, you remove a threat from a side scheme equal to your hero's attack.
From a scheme.
From a scheme?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a side scheme.
Oh, yep, you're right.
Then we got surprise attack, 1 cost event. After you change form, deal 3 damage to an enemy, 4 damage instead if you paid for this using a strength.
Take That is a 3 cost attack event. You deal 7 damage to an enemy with an upgrade attached. So you would have to have upgrades for this, but
yeah,
yes.
Or coordinate or play with Cyclops or something.
Yes.
That's the other player. Then we got toe to toe, 1 cost event. Choose an enemy. That enemy attacks you, then deal 5 damage to that enemy.
Uppercut is a 3 cost attack event. You deal 5 damage to an enemy. Pretty simple and straightforward.
All right, then we got keep up the pressure. Each player may search their deck and discard pile for an attack event and add it to their hand, shuffle, and then until the end of the phase, each attack event deals 1 additional damage. And it's 2 threat per player.
The aggressive energy. So when you spin this card to play an attack event, that event deals 1 additional damage.
And she's playing a lot of events. That's why I included that card. All right, then we got assault training. It's a 1 cost support. Max 2 per deck, and it comes in with 2 uses, 2 training counters, and you can alter ego action, exhaust this card and remove 1 training counter from it to choose an aggression event in your discard pile and put it into your deck.
We've got aggressive stance. So this is a 1 cost upgrade. It's a preparation, max 1 per player. But after you engage a minion, you can discard this card, search your deck for an attack event, and add that to your hand.
All right. And then if you are playing aggression, home technique is just an amazing card. It's a 3 cost upgrade, 2 mental is required to pay for it. And when you play an aggression attack event, if you paid for this card using a mental resource, increase the amount of damage that event deals by the printed cost. And her cards generate a wild, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah,
Her resources.
her resources. Yeah.
Then we've got martial prowess, so it's a 2 cost upgrade. Of course, if you're playing strength, then you're probably going to want to play this, but play it under any player's control, max 1 per player. You can exhaust this to generate a strength resource for an attack event.
And if you're playing multiplayer, you can beg the aggression player to include that. All right, I thought of a few more aggression cards. So this one is Lock and Load. It's a player side scheme. Each player may search their deck and discard pile for a weapon upgrade with a cost of 3 or less and put it into play, which the sword costs 3. Okay.
We've got Test the Defense. It's a 1-cost upgrade. It's a skill, max 1 per player, but as a response, after you play an attack event, you can place a test counter here. And if there's 5 test counters here, you can discard to deal 5 damage to an enemy.
Then we got Warrior Skill. It's a 2 cost to upgrade. Uses 3 warrior counters, max 1 per player. After your hero attacks, remove 1 warrior counter from here. The attack deals 1 additional damage. All right. So aggression was by far the most cards, but justice has got quite a few as well.
Yeah, that's still quite a few. Because we got the threat cards in here. So the first one here is Think Fast. It's a 1-cost event. You do have to be a guardian to play this, but you can take 1 damage to confuse the villain.
Then we got Brains Over Brawn. It's a 2-cost event. It's a hero response attack. After your hero makes a basic thwart, deal damage to an enemy equal to your hero's thwart.
Clear the Area is a 1-cost event. You remove 2 threat from a scheme, and if this removes the last threat from a scheme, you get to draw a card.
We got Concussive Blow. It's a 3-cost event. Hero action attack. Confuse an enemy. If you pay for this using a strength resource, deal 3 damage to that enemy.
Crisis Averted. This is one of my favorites, actually. It's a 3-cost event, thwart event, but you can, as a hero action, remove 6 threat from the main scheme, so it does have to be the main, but if you pay for this card using a mental resource, that thwart ignores the crisis icon. That's why I love this one. Plus, it's 6, so that's always nice.
All right, then we have Even the Odds. Requires an energy for when you're paying for it. Hero action thwart. Remove 1 threat per player from each side scheme. Deal 1 damage to the villain for each side scheme defeated this way.
Okay. For Justice is a 2-cost event, a thwart event. You remove 3 threat from a scheme, and if you used a mental resource, you get to make it 4 instead.
Then we got Impede. It costs 2 to remove 3 threat for the main scheme. And if this is the first card you played this round, you get to return it to your hand.
Okay. We've got Infiltration, which is a 1-cost thwart event. You choose a number from 1 to 5, discard that many cards from the top of the encounter deck, and remove 1 threat from a scheme for each card discarded this way. Does all have to be from the same scheme, though. And if you discarded minions this way, you put 1 of those into play engage with you.
Okay. Then we got Lay Down the Law. After you change forms, remove 3 threat from a scheme, 4 instead if you used a mental to pay for it.
Multitasking is a 1-cost thwart event. You remove 2 threat from a scheme, and if you use mental to pay for it, you remove 2 threat from a different scheme.
Then we got Pivotal Moment, 2-cost event. Deal 2 damage to the villain, 5 instead if there's no threat on the main scheme.
Scare Tactic is a 1-cost attack event. You deal 3 damage to a confused enemy. So they do have to be confused for this to work, but there's ways to do that.
Oops. Then we got Stealth Strike, 3-cost event. Hero action attack. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. If that enemy is defeated by this attack, remove 2 threat from a scheme.
Next, we've got Swift Retribution. It's a 1-cost attack event, and the villain schemes deal 4 damage to the villain.
Then we got 3 steps ahead. Thwart. For each different resource type you spent to pay for this card, choose a scheme and remove 2 threat from it. So this is a little weird for her to pull off because her resource generators are wild, but you put a sense of justice in if you're playing as justice, that'll help, or other non-resource cards to pay for it. So
Yep. Then we've got Turn the Tide. So this is a 0-cost attack event. After your hero thwarts and removes all of their threat from a scheme, deal 6 damage to an enemy. So on this one, this is probably going to be your second card in the turn. But you know,
yeah, but you play like a 4 justice, and then you clear the
Yeah.
scheme. Then you turn and you did a point of damage, and then you play that card. You get to do the damage, and then remove a threat from like another scheme.
Yep. I mean, you could do it with using your basic, but it's probably going to be your second card.
Probably, yeah.
We've got Waylay here. It's a 3-cost attack event. After your hero thwarts, deal 4 damage to an enemy. 7 instead if that thwart removed the last threat from a scheme.
Okay. Then we got Generation X. Each X-Men character gets +1 thwart while making a basic thwart against this scheme. Unless you have an X-Men allies, you're not going to worry about this part so much. But it's when defeated, each player may search their deck and discard pile for an identity-specific event and add it to their hand. And she's got some amazing events. And then it also comes in with 3 threat per player.
Yep. Passion for Justice. So there's max of 2 per deck for this resource card, but when you spend it to play a thwart event, that event removes an additional threat.
All right, then we got Vigilante Training, 1-cost support, max 2 per deck, uses 2 training counters. Alter Ego, you could exhaust this card, remove a training counter from it, and search choose a Justice event in your discard pile and shuffle it into your deck.
The last one we got here is Sense of Justice. So this is a 2-cost upgrade. Play under any player's control, max 1 per player, but it generates a mental resource for a thwart event.
Okay, so like we said, so Dirk and I, we usually play multiplayer. So if one of us is playing Gamora and the other is playing as aggression or justice, and the other one's playing the other one, then we really beg for that resource generator. The other thing, before we move on to the next aspects, is more than likely, if you're wanting to add attack events to your, of the 6, you're going to pick aggression as opposed to justice. But we're just showing those because, the aggression attack events are more effective than the justice attack events and vice versa.
But one thing that I think is kind of cool, and we've seen a little bit of it, we'll see some more of it, but cards that are both threat and that are both thwart and attack, if you've got it teamed up to where you have, if you're playing aggression and the justice player plays a sense of justice on you, or the other way around, those 2 cards can pay for the same card.
Right. And then you put in one of her built-in ones, and now you've got a wild as well. So you got a mental, a strength, and a wild.
Yep.
Which is kind of fun. All right. And on to leadership. So here we got Black Panther. He's a 4-cost ally, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 4 hit points. Avenger Wakanda. You may play the event attached to Black Panther as if it's in your hand. And in response, after Black Panther enters play, choose a leadership event in your discard pile and attach it to him. So it has to be a leadership event. And we got a few in here. But it's a nice way because ideally you want to play 1 thwart event and 1 attack event each turn.
Yep.
And sometimes you're going to maybe not, it might take you a turn to set that up.
All right, then we've got Kalu. So Kalu is a 2-cost ally. He's an Avenger Mystic. He thwarts for 1, attacks for 1, has 2 hit points. But after he enters play, you can search the top 5 cards of your deck for an event and add that event to your hand. And that's any event.
All right, then we got Welcome Aboard. Play only if you have the Guardian trait, max 1 per round. Reduce the resource cost of the next ally played this phase by 2.
Blaze of Glory. So this is a 2-cost event and max 1 per round, but each Guardian character gets +2 thwart, +2 attack this phase, and at the end of the phase, you deal 1 damage to each Guardian character.
All right, then we got Go All Out, 2-cost event. It does require an energy to partially pay for it. Hero action attack, exhaust your hero, deal damage to an enemy equal to the total of your hero's thwart, attack, and defense value. Now, she's only a 2/2/2, but, if you buffed it up, or, you got a bunch of those resource generators, just a nice way to pull that off.
Yep. Mass attack here. So this is a 3-cost attack event. You exhaust 3 allies you control that share a trait with you. So you do have to make sure that they all are guardians, because I think that's the only thing that's the only thing she's got in hero form. But you can deal X damage to an enemy, where X is the total attack of all of those allies and your hero.
Right. And we didn't go over the allies yet, but we will. We'll get to that. All right. Then we got push ahead. So 3 cost event, mental. Hero action thwart, exhaust your hero, remove threat from a scheme equal to the total of your hero's thwart, attack, and defense.
We've got Guardians of the Galaxy. So this is a 2 cost support. It is a team card, and you do have a max of 1 team card per player, but you can play it under any player's control. And if each of your characters has the Guardian trait, this card gains response after you play an upgrade on an ally, draw a card.
Okay. So now this next card, she wants to play a lot of events, and so you got to spend a lot of resources. So I think if you're playing leadership, this is a good card for her. Clarity of purpose, 1 cost upgrade, attached to a friendly character, max 1 per character. Or if the other player is playing leadership, it's like, please play one on me. Exhaust this card and take 1 damage to generate a wild resource.
All right, moving on to protection. And the first card we've got here is Brother Voodoo. So Brother Voodoo is a 3 cost ally. He thwarts for 2, attacks for 1. He does take 2 consequential when he thwarts, but he has 3 hit points. He is an Avenger Mystic. But after he enters play, you can search top 5 cards of your deck for an event and add it to your hand and then shuffle your deck. So basically it is Kalu for protection.
Yeah. And now, continuing with protection. Protection has actually got some kind of interesting attack and thwart events. So this could be a fun addition to add to your deck. So first we got stop hitting yourself, 2 cost event, hero response. That's not a hero event. Oh yeah,
Nope.
it's hero event. Yeah, it is. Hero response attack. Yeah. After you defend against an enemy attack and take no damage, deal damage to that enemy equal to the defense for that attack.
Then you've got bait and switch. So that's the 1 cost thwart event. The villain attacks you and remove 4 threat from the main scheme.
Then you got counter punch. After your hero defends against an enemy attack, deal damage to that enemy equal to your hero's attack. And this is a card that you're playing during the villain phase, most likely, so you'd be able to remove a threat as well.
Yeah, now you do have to actually defend against the attack.
Yeah.
Fighting Fit is a 2 cost attack event. As a hero action, you deal 2 damage to the villain, 5 instead if your hero's remaining hit points are equal to or greater than your starting hit points. And there's ways to kind of help that happen.
All right, and then we got first hit. It's a 1 cost event. So during the player phase, you can do a hero action, attack, deal 2 damage to the villain. Or like during the villain phase, it's a hero interrupt. When a minion initiates an attack, deal 2 damage to that minion. And you get to remove a threat.
Yep.
If it's the first card.
Then we've got Hard Knock. So this is a 3 cost attack event. You deal 4 damage to an enemy, and if it's defeated by this attack, you give yourself a tough status card.
Now, this is a card that I usually include as one of my 6 when I play Gamora.
Yeah.
Just because.
It's a nice one.
Momentum Shift. It's a 2 cost event. Hero action attack, heal 2 damage from your hero, and deal 2 damage to an enemy.
So the one thing to keep in mind about playing this one, though, is because of the arrow, you do have to be able to heal before you can deal the damage.
Yep.
Right, then you've got Powerful Punch. I guess Gamora thinks it's fun. But this is a 2 cost attack and defense event. As a hero interrupt, when an enemy initiates an attack, you deal 4 damage to the enemy. So this is great because you can actually deal the damage to like a minion or something, or if the villain's about to flip, you deal that damage, and then, you deal the damage, you can prevent them from attacking you, and then still remove threat.
All right. And then we've got Return to Favor. It's a 0 cost event. Hero action attack, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until you discard a treachery, reveal that treachery, then deal 5 damage to the villain.
And hope the treachery's not too bad.
Yeah.
Then you gotta shake it off here. So it's a 1 cost event. This is a skill, so you do have to be protection to play this one. But after a guardian character takes any amount of damage from an attack, give that character a tough status card.
Yeah. Yeah, I include that because you have to be a guardian to play it.
Yep.
Then we got Tackle, 3 cost event. Hero action, you get to stun an enemy, and then if you use a strength resource to pay for it, you deal 3 damage to that enemy.
So stun, deal damage, and remove thwart. Sounds like a plan to me. Then we've got True Grit here. So this is a one-cost thwart event. After your hero defends against an enemy attack, you can remove threat from the main or from a scheme equal to your hero's thwart.
Now these cards are kind of interesting in a normal play because this is the green one doesn't apply because it's not a defense card, but since Gamora has a resource generator play any event, she kind of uniquely get the thwart action during the villain phase using a resource generator, which is kind of fun. All right, then we have a few pool cards.
So pool inspection here. So this is a 6-cost event. So it's a little pricey, but still, it's fun. Max 1 per deck. As a hero action, you remove 5 threat from the main scheme, ignoring the crisis icon. And then you remove 1 threat from each scheme for each of the negative symbols in play. So, and now that doesn't mean that if you, or does it actually, if you've got, say, 2 accelerations, is that going to remove 2 for the 2 accelerations? I don't think I've ever had that come up.
Yeah, it says for each scheme, for each.
Wow. Okay, so that one could be very, very beneficial.
And this is a card I almost always include in my Gamora decks.
And he always includes them as pool decks.
Well, yeah. It's a 3-cost event. Cut upper.
Upgraded uppercut.
Yep. Hero action attack, deal 5 damage to an enemy and stun that enemy. Squeak.
Then we've got the bomb. So this is a 6-cost event. Max 1 per deck, but you deal 10 damage to the villain and 1 damage to each enemy and hero for each of the symbols in play. So you do have to be a little bit careful playing this one because you can knock out a hero with it. But, it is the big bomb. Big bada bomb.
Okay, so there are quite a few Guardian allies. And if you want to see the lowdown on the Guardian allies, please check our Groot video. And it is chapter marked on where you can, in that video, so where you can see us talking about all the Groot allies, except for this one, because Groot for some reason could not have this card in his deck. And that is because he is
Groot. He is a 3-cost ally. He is a Guardian. He cost 3. So he's got 6 hit points. He thwarts for 1, attacks for 2 with 2 consequential. But you do have to be a Guardian to play him. But as a response, after he defends against an attack, you heal 2 damage to him. So he is phenomenal to play whenever you are trying to fend off minions or hold them off while you're doing other things. He can lock a minion out if it only does 1 or 2 damage.
All right. This card I probably wouldn't include, but it is a valid card. Haymaker, 2-cost event. Hero action, deal 3 damage to an enemy.
Yeah, there's so many other cards that can do this, plus a little bit more for the same cost. But yes, if you're looking to try to spread it out a little bit, it's great. And I love these. These are one of those, a thwart attack events that I was talking about. I love. They cost 3. This one costs 3, hit and run. It is deal 2 damage to an enemy and remove 2 threat from a scheme. And so if this is the first one you've played, then you do both. So you're actually 3 and 3.
Okay. Now, if we had the martial prowess, sense of justice, and the clarity of purpose cards. So,
okay, let's see. Clarity of purpose is there. Since you didn't tell me you were going to do this, and martial prowess is not the bottom one.
Well, pretty close. All right. So, we've got.
He's making me work.
Yep. A mental, a strength, and a wild. So if you use those 3 cards, obviously you're playing as aggression or justice, and the other player,
what are you coming up
and
with?
the other player generously put the other one in their deck for you. You could do multi-talented, which is a 3-cost event. It's attack and thwart, so you can use sense of justice and martial prowess to pay for it. And then if you paid for this event using at least 1 strength, deal 2 damage, 1 mental, remove 2 threat, and 1 energy, which is what the clarity of purpose could generate for you. Heal 2 damage from your identity. And that didn't cost you anything because all that resources. Well, it cost you 1 point of damage from clarity of purpose.
Yeah, it costs something.
Or you could use one of Gamora's instinct or whatever it's called. I forget what hers are called.
They're called, yes, that card. It is her keen instincts.
Keen instincts, yeah. So you could do that instead of clarity of purpose if you don't want to take the point of damage.
All right, but To the rescue. So this is a 2-cost event. Thwart event, you remove 2 threat from a scheme. Again, this is one you're probably going to have other cards that you can add because you have access to all the colors that are going to do this a little bit more efficiently, but it is a valid card.
Yeah.
Especially for players with limited card pools.
Limited card pools, or you really want to have some extra thwart.
Yep.
Or attack for the other one. All right, then we got the CITT. 2-cost support, hero action, exhaust CITT, and spend 2 resources of any type to ready a guardian character.
Okay. I think you've got nowhere, so this is a guardian support. You do have to be a guardian to play it. It's a 2-cost location. Increase your ally limit by 1, and after a player plays a guardian ally, you can exhaust this for that player to draw a card.
And then our final card is Booster Boots. Play only if your identity has the guardian trait, max 1 per player. When you would take any amount of damage from an attack, you can exhaust the Booster Boots and discard the top card of your deck to prevent 1 of that damage. All right. So Gamora is really fun. I really like the characters that have the unique deck building. That is really fun to me to make very unique decks. And so
actually
very happy. You know, we had Spider-Woman there for a while, and she was the only one. And then I was really happy when Gamora came along, and it's like, oh yay, we got a.
She was before Adam Warlock?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Adam Warlock was the 3rd one. Yeah. Okay. So we got him pretty quickly. Each wave there for the first 3 waves. Each wave for the first 3 waves, we got a unique deck building character. We didn't get one in the Spider-Man one, but then we got one in Mutant Genesis and Next Evolution, you know, and then of course now Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. we have one as well. So yeah, I love the fact that, and hope to see more unique deck building characters, because that's pretty fun.
Yeah, they are fun.
All right. Anyways, thank you for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe.
And if you want to see more content by us, go ahead and hit that notification bell down there, and you'll get alerts whenever we post new videos.
All right.
Bye.